Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Birch Press Designs, and we are actually going to work with a stamp set, and it is called Lovely Butterflies. Again, I am a butterfly and a feather person, so when I saw this, I thought it was absolutely beautiful, and this is part of their recent release. These are all the beautiful butterflies that you will get in the stamp set. Now, there are also dies available that match these images, so just to show you that there are dies available. We won't be using them, though, in this video. There are beautiful sentiments: make a wish, explore the possibilities, follow your dreams, change is good, you lift me up, open your wings, and don't just fly, soar. So, again, we are going through, all of us, a challenging time right now. I am finding that I am leaning towards colored pencils, and creating art journals is helping with my anxiety. And I get it every once in a while. Not all the time, but, you know, it's a stressful time. But, you know, we're keeping it together. And this is how I'm doing that. So we're going to do an art journal. So something really different when it comes to Birch Press Designs. So I hope they like it. So I dug into my Distress Oxides. I am using tumbled glass, peeled paint, and faded jeans. Three kind of different colors, but you can see I'm doing it when it comes to the background in layers. The paper that I am using is my mixed media from a Delusions book that I dropped in water. So I had to cut up some pages, and this is measuring 7.5 by 7.5. Once these layers are dry, I'm coming back in with the tumbled glass, which will kind of lighten them up. So this kind of looks a little bit dark, but really it's not. It actually looked darker when I'm looking at it live. But one of the beautiful things when it comes to the oxides is the way that they come to life when you hit it with water. It like turns it on. I don't like to take a cloth right away to it because I love the mixing that it does, the oxidation that it does, and it kind of like pulls it. So I like to heat set that just a little bit, and then eventually I will come in, and now I've got all of that wonderful texture from that. I'm going to now stamp all of the butterflies. All 10 butterflies are going to be stamped. And I'm going to stamp them using my VersaFine Black, and I am using watercolor paper because I'm going to be doing some watercoloring. Nothing specific, just a lot of fun. Using the black VersaFine, that is a waterproof ink. It's very crisp black because I also am going to use clear embossing powder over these. This is a technique that I saw Amber K Creates do. I had the name written down. Of course, I can't find it. She did these butterflies, and they were just absolutely gorgeous. And it was my speed on watercoloring because we just dropped the colors in. So once they're stamped, I do stamp them twice to make sure I have a good solid impression. And then I'm using clear embossing powder on top of that to make sure that we have that. I'm not really looking for a barrier. So, I mean, that's not necessary. Just stamping them is fine. It's funny. You'll see me be specific in the beginning, and then I just let loose. So, again, have fun with it. Don't stress yourself out and think, okay, this needs to be perfect. Nothing needs to be perfect. It's the idea of handmade. Let's have fun with it. Let's see where it takes us. Let's see where we go with this. And art journals are really doing that. They're, whether it's colored pencils or art journals for me, again, I'm not constantly thinking about this or anything else, but, you know, I'm kind of in the mix. I am an essential worker. So I am kind of, you know, going to work every day, but it's there's just things that I have to take care of that keeps it on my mind. So by doing these and doing the different things that you can do with an art journal or coloring with colored pencils, it helps me to block all of that out. So yay, yay for this. And plus I love to do art journals and I haven't done them in a while, so I'm making up for lost time, I think. So I dug into the Brutus Monroe liquid watercolors, and those that you saw there, one of my followers had actually sent to me, and I cannot say thank you enough. So this is the first time that I'm actually playing with them. These are just the regular colors. So this is red, orange, pink, yellow, turquoise, blue, green, and violet. And you can see I'm putting colors down and I'm gently dropping it, and yeah. Okay. So what we need to do now, we're loosening up. So now, and I don't mind that there's color going to the outside of it because I'm going to fussy cut these. And I'm going to cut right up to the lines. You could use the dies, but again, I wanted to go right up to that line and not have a white outline going around it. So you can see I keep working on that one butterfly, and eventually I work it so much that the water starts peeling or pilling and all of that, so I have to stop with it. Now I'm just adding in more colors on top and just spreading it around. I'm adding a little bit more of red in the center so that that will just continue to bleed. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just scribbling down a base color, and then I'm just dropping in a secondary color. I'm making sure I'm picking up a lot of the pigment and not so much water, because again, I want these to blend, I want these to merge and just have fun with themselves. Again, this is the first time that I've played with these, the Brutus Monroe liquid watercolors, and I'm sure there'll be more with them just to see exactly what they can do, how far I can push them, and everything else, and awesomeness as it comes to that. So I'm just going to continue to add the colors and just drop colors in. I do find it's mesmerizing when you do drop the color in, how it just moves. I could watch that all day. It's like a fish tank or a fire. Just watching that go. But that's just me. I thought it was interesting that when I dropped, I had put the green down first, and then when I dropped the yellow, this made me very curious that the yellow actually pushed the green out. So that's got my curiosity going when it comes to these liquid watercolors. The same thing when it came to the red butterfly. When I put the yellow on the tips of it, it kind of pushed it towards the center. So I really kind of like that, and what that was doing. So now I'm just coming in onto the opposite side with the blue butterfly, putting green on the tips. And then for this final one, I'm just going to add some purple to the outside to see how that blends through. And then we're going to add some red to the bottom and see how that will blend as well. So we're getting lots of colors going on with that butterfly. As I said, I will be fussy cutting these, and then what I'm also going to be doing is using a black marker to go around the outside. But I do just want to let those sit and let those dry on their own. I grabbed a couple stencils and my Nouveau sponges, and I'm using the Faded Jeans and also the Peeled Paint, which are the two sprays that I used. I'm going to use the ink pads now. So where the green is sitting, I'm using the Faded Jeans, making sure that I'm putting a nice heavy contrast of color there. I want it to be just a little bit more than normal, not a light touch. And then I'm using the second stencil with the Peeled Paint where the Faded Jeans is, just again so that I can get those differences of those two colors as well, and just having fun with those textures coming in. I'm going to use one of my stamps from the Etc. just to give more of a background, and I will be using my archival ink in Cobalt, a very dark blue for the background, and I'm going to stamp that along all of the back here, just here and there. So there's going to be a first generation stamp and a second generation stamping, and so forth. And I'm just going to put that all throughout. Make sure that I come up, you know, straight up and down so that I don't smear it. I don't want to have a smeared image. I just want to have that straight on image. So far our background is going pretty well. Got lots going on there. So this here is a white watercolor. It's very thick. It's by Dr. Mark, and I'm giving this a try. I mean, you can add your white gesso to this. The thing is, when you add white gesso, especially with your oxides or your distress inks, they will react. It's wet. They are water reactive. So the color actually bleeds up into the white gesso. It looks absolutely gorgeous. But I really wanted to make sure that I had white droplets that go on here. So I'm actually giving this a try. And it did work. The droplets did stay white. It's at a higher price point, but again, when I'm looking for white, I'll use that. But I do like the look of the gesso turning into the color as well. It's a soft white. It doesn't take it on completely. So you can see I'm using my Memento black pen just to go around these beautiful butterflies, just to give it a better edge, because again, fussy cutting is not my thing. I am horrible at it, and I will never make anyone watch it because it's painful to watch. I'm just saying. I am also using 2 of the sentiments from the stamp set. I am using Explore the Possibilities, and I believe Open Your Wings. I also had Don't Just Fly, Soar. So I'm playing with the placement, and as I'm putting these butterflies down, we're going to create the rainbow look. So I'm starting with the purple, going into the blue and the green, going into the yellow and the orange, and then finally the red and the pink, as best as I can. So that's just giving me an idea of what that placement is going to look like. I'm putting in the sentiments to say, okay, where would these sit as well in case I've got to move when it comes to those sentiments. I do have a chipboard one that I'll be using as well, because again, it's about being creative and having your creativity come to life. Pulled a piece of dictionary paper, and I'm going to be using my vintage photo on that. Just again, give it that, and I'm going to use that as at the edge. So this I'm actually using to frame this piece, which you can. I mean, you can use pattern paper, you can use other stamps, you can use other inks. You know, again, use what you have. I'm using my liquid glue to set these strips down. I'm going to set I should have started off with the sides because they were longer. So now I'm just going to real quick, I was able to lift those up, and I'm going to set these in place, making sure that they're flat. They will overhang, which is okay because I will use my scissors to trim this. I'm going to keep those holes open so that I can put them on my rings once this piece has dried and set. So I'll grab my scissors and just trim these edges. Just to make them even. Once I'm done that, I will, you know, again, when it comes to the art journals that I do, you can tell who inspires me. I mean, it's very close to what Vicky does. She truly does inspire me when it comes to art journaling and the process. And again, what I like about her techniques and what I've really gotten from it is use what you have. You know, who would have thought that we can take a stamp set, you know, such as the one that I'm using here with beautiful butterflies, and make those your focal points. Just because, you know, art journaling can be anything. You know, you can use your dies, you can use your stamps, and put them in there. You know, the fun for me is the background, and just putting that all together, and not worrying about, this helps me to, as like I always say, let it go. Just create. Yours will be unique. It will be your piece of work. It'll be your piece of art. We all create it. We just each have our own ways of doing this. And again, a stamp set, when I saw this stamp set by Birch Press, it was the first thing that I thought of. Even before, you know, this challenge came about. But I knew I wanted them to come to life. I knew I wanted them to sit on a page, and to be having this dimension and having them fly up the page. So again, just look at these things and just be creative on it. Can this concept as well go on a card? Absolutely. You can, you know, create your background on the card and do the same thing with it. If this piece is too big, or intimidating. Art journaling was very intimidating for me for a while. But now I'm loving it, especially now. So it's helping me. So of course, you know, we'll continue to do that. You can see we've got the butterflies going up, coming in around the sentiments. I made sure that the sentiments went down first so that the butterflies can come around. If you put the butterflies down first, like I was, you may not be able to fit those little tiny sentiments. So you see, I have open your wings, explore the possibilities, and then creativity takes courage. And it does. You know, it's, didn't know that one was not adhered. So we'll get that one in place right there. And I did use my foam squares just to make sure that the leaves, or the wings, not leaves, the wings can be coming up and have that dimension. I will come in with the white gel pen just to do the highlights around the butterflies. Again, not much, just little tiny drips and drabs going across. Don't need to add any black lines because of the black embossing that we have on those images. And by outlining them with the black pen, that helped these butterflies to come up off of this page as well. I do use my black liner to go around. Now, something to take note, when you use an oxide as a background, do not use your fine liner on the oxide because it will jam up and your fine liner won't be able to write. You'll have to keep scribbling until you can get that oxide off. Just an FYI. So you can see I'm having all kinds of problems with the black liner. Finally got one coming in, and I'm able to finish that. I'm also going to pull in one of my chalk pastels, which will go on there, and I can actually use my finger to smudge it to smooth it out. These are by Stabilo, I think it's called. And then that just helps to make those pop out as well. I'm going to pull in some glitter glue. This is called Dragonfly, and this is by Open Studio. And I'm just putting that onto the inside of the wings as well. The details in these butterflies, you have so many possibilities. Color pencils, watercolors, alcohol, you know, whatever it is that you're looking to use, use it if it's your favorite medium. So that is our project for Birch Press Designs, using the beautiful stamp set called Lovely Butterflies, and that they are. As always, all of the products that I use will be listed down below in the video description. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those down below as well. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to subscribe, be part of my group. Make sure you ring the bell and hit the thumbs up. By ringing the bell, you'll know when the next video is live and ready for you to watch and enjoy. Everyone, please make sure you continue to stay safe and stay healthy through this challenge. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. And remember what is most important for me, which is helping us get through this, I hope. Always be creative Until next time, everyone.